do believe we are live.
Hello, hello.
Alrighty. Sorry about that. Some slight latency issues that I was not expecting. Hello, and welcome to Lesson Learned, a conversation about Mythcraft. I am Corey Griffin, and today with me I have.
Hey, I'm Kobe Randolph.
And today we're going to be talking to you guys specifically about the Brunei lineage. So, after last week's episode, we sat down and we decided we were going to start going kind of in depth a little bit about each thing that we talked about last time. We
We
figured
going
the
deep,
best place to
baby.
start. Sorry.
No, you're kidding. I was being dumb.
All right. The best place to start is going to be our friendly little Brunei. I just realized I was messing up some stuff with Streamlabs. There we go. Alrighty. With that being said, what are Brunei?
that is a good question. How would you explain? Well, I mean, we can. I mean, with their appearance, they are small. They're 3'4" to like 4'2" on average. About like 120 pounds on the big side, 50 on the small side. Their size is actually small. They are truly small creatures. And they got that 20 feet speed, like about everything in Mythcraft. But for their appearance, they're like stocky or cherubic. Cherub. Words are not my strong point. Cherubic. Cherub.
Cherubic.
Cherubic. Sorry about that.
I think
With
that's the word that's written there. Not
Yeah, that's like the
100% sure.
little like I look like little like flying babies. Wasn't Cupid a cherub?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. All right.
Don't quote me on that, but yeah, then and skin tones with that of stone, primarily shades of gray and brown. They have hair that resembles moss, lichen, and fungi, and their eyes range in coloration from gray, brown to green to blue to hazel or metallic. It's said that a group of sleeping Brunei can be seen as a group of actually just mossy boulders to passerbyers. So they pretty much are living stones. If
All right. And we're gonna get into that more in a minute. Um, so like the lifespan of the Brunei, they reach their maturity around 10 years of age, and they live very long lives. They do not start to physically deteriorate until around like their 400th year of life. And
but
like as a human, I do not comprehend 400 years, right?
380 in my prime, what do you mean? That's how I'm gonna be living. That's my goal. 380 prime.
Uh
uh,
and at that 400th year, then their body starts to slowly solidify as they spend more and more time sleeping in their stone form. By their 500th year, most Brunei become stone permanently.
yeah, I that personally that last little tidbit is probably one of the coolest things to me about the Brunei. I think that opens up a well of possibilities for just passing as a Brunei. I just being able to turn to stone and like do you have that feeling that this is my last stone sleep, so I'm gonna take my cool pose before I do it, or like I just think it's a very very interesting a topic of how to just to be a Brunei, I guess.
Okay, so I with some of the like the lore and stuff we've got on them, and like when they go to sleep, they just look like rocks. I don't think they're posing, in my opinion, right?
Hmm.
Though I do think of like now when you come across like a meadow with just like a stony meadow, like that could literally just be the place where a clan of Brunei have always traveled to at the end of their life to rest with their ancestors for eternity.
You just added a very deep and dark, sad meaning to the term "leave no stone unturned." As we're just now flipping over a bunch of dead ancestral bodies.
I mean, don't think that's quite what that's supposed to mean, but like
uh,
maybe I don't know. All right,
there's some deep grudge there.
yeah, there's some interesting thoughts with that. So
I
next
think
we're
that
gonna kind of
leads.
move into the starting features of Brunei.
Yeah,
The first of which you want to go over it. You
yeah.
want
I
to
mean, I
talk
think
about it
that
some more.
kind of leads into what we were just talking about a little bit. The stone sleep. They don't sleep like other creatures, and instead they enter a state of suspended animation called stone sleep. You may enter stone sleep for 6 hours to generate your energy on a daily basis. While stone sleep is activated, you gain damage threshold 30, which for damage threshold, to explain that a little bit more, just to understand Mythcraft terms. So for a damage threshold, you have to hit above that on your damage roll to do damage. If you do hit above it, you do all said damage. But if you roll a 29, you ain't nicking me, baby. I'm a stone. So, and you are unconscious when doing so, but not helpless. You remain in stone sleep indefinitely, but taking any damage immediately ends your stone sleep.
Right. So like this is kind of what we were talking about there in the beginning of like Brunei don't normally just they don't die. They just take their stone sleep to permanent. Right? Like you want to talk about gently passing into the night. Like
Yeah, no, if a Brunei doesn't go off and be adventurers, which I mean, we know a little bit in the lore there, they are more docile, I think, by nature. They're more traders and enjoy the flirting and stuff. They just get to enjoy being cool fucking rocks for a good chunk of their life. I waited. I knew. But no, I think it's really cool. I love the fact that they just kind of get to rest into sleep indefinitely and just become one with the earth that they wander. Or and Sarah, right? That's how you say. It's how we
that
say it.
is the Mythcraft official world, but
Yeah.
yes. All right. Another starting feature that they have that is one of my favorites. Oh, we had that story about Stone Sleep we were going to talk about.
Ooh, it is a good story. It
It
is.
is such a good story. So we had this player at our table. We were playtesting some content, and apparently he had a slight grudge against one of the people they were traveling with at the time. And so this Brunei, while this man was sleeping, crawled over top of him and then activated their stone sleep, being mere inches from the face of the other guy. So that when he woke up, he headbutted the stone sleep form of the PC.
I My PC definitely didn't influence that at all by starting beef with said NPC. Definitely didn't do that.
I think your characters, out of quite a few of my players, have more beef with more of my NPCs than almost anyone else.
I'm so non like confrontative in real life that I gotta put it all somewhere. So in tabletop RPGs, I get my confrontation in.
Yeah, no, I get it. Um, But so the feature that I said is one of my favorite of the two starting features is definitely their face step, which is once per rest. Brunei have the natural ability to wink out of sight and slip into places unnoticed. By spending 2 AP, you become invisible for 1 minute. This feature immediately ends if you take damage, make an attack, or use magic. However, every time I think about using this feature, I'm going to take damage, make an attack, or use magic directly after it because being unseen is very powerful in Mythcraft.
We see this as very different. I, as someone who likes to run away from dying in Mythcraft, with the idea of having um 8 death points, this is always my back. Usually, especially at this part, it's in my back pocket as my get out of jail card. I'm at 5 death points. I'm not ready to take that long stone sleep. I am taking this. I'm getting far away. I'm unseen, and I'm turning to a rock, and I'm hiding. And that is, I play. Yeah, I think this is a perfect get out of jail card. Though using it to attack is very smart. I love having it out of back pocket because a certain MC likes to get me to death points quite often.
I've not done it in the podcast yet.
Not in the, only we know why Lesh is built a certain way, Spaz.
We have one on the record stating that the reason Lesh from our podcast Tales of Evard is a long range buffer debuffer character is because I've killed more of his characters than any other person that has run games for him.
Hey, that's Mythcraft, baby. Level 1's real hard.
Level 1 is very hard. Level 2 is not much easier. Alright. Also, when you become a Brunei, you get a unique feature from a list that we're about to go over. So, yeah, let's go over a couple of these.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, do you want me to start it off?
yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, so our first one is Arcane Infinity, Arcane Affinity. Let me start it off and get it wrong right off the bat. That's how we're gonna do it. But no, learn 2 cantrips from the arcane source of magic. Use your magic attribute. If you do not have one, use intellect. Caught myself. I caught myself. I'm getting
Did you
better.
catch yourself, or did you realize, oh fuck, I said the wrong one?
I looked at you. I was like, oh, he's gonna get me. He's gonna
All right. So something I like about Arcane Affinity, if you are not level 1, you pick this up at like 5. That means you could take Oracle, get a luck stat casting ability, and still pick up arcane cantrips that use luck.
That I didn't even think about it that way.
Or any of the other magic attributes with no penalty. No,
Yeah,
the way this reads.
that is always very nice to be able to cast something of a different source with your stat. The way Mythcraft works, taking that penalties, but you don't have to take that. And I mean, arcane cantrips are, I think, very fun cantrips to dip into.
They are fun. May not be my favorite. Recently, I've found a deep love for occult magic.
Yeah, I wonder where that's from.
But even with that being said, just we're gonna see it later on as well. The Brunei are very well set up to have cantrips from multiple different sources, and I love it. I adore it. The next Brunei feature that you can pick up is called Brunei Expertise. It's a repeatable talent, which means anytime that you can get a lineage talent, you could grab more of this. And it's just you add 6 skill points to any one skill of your choice with the crafting tag. You want to get really good at cooking? There you go.
I think I love just role play wise. I think role play wise to make like actual like stuff though, I think it's really cool. But just even in Mythcraft, I think the way your skills are, it's so helpful to have skills. And I think if you MC that, like, I mean, especially with you as an MC, you always like reward skills and stuff like that. And just having the high crafting stuff is just always so much fun. And just I love being able to build stuff. So that is such always one I think of dipping into for sure.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of, in my opinion, there's a lot of build choices when it comes to like skills and stuff. And for me as an MC, if I don't reward what you're building, why are you building it?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you playing? Right? Like, there's nothing worse than being a player and every time you build this thing to happen, just getting immediately shut down or not being as cool as you hope it to be. Right?
Yeah, no, you definitely don't shut me down. The dice just shut less down.
Listen, I have a story to tell. You have a story to tell. And the dice decide which story gets told.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, they.
You know? Um, but, I mean, even
Yeah.
with that, right? You can still make failure cool,
Oh yeah.
right? Um, Again, I've went, you know, I've went on record, and you can see it in our podcast, right? You've rolled like a nat 2, and the RP reason that you failed something was because the instrument broke,
Yep.
right? It wasn't that you did bad because you have all those points in entertaining, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lesh should almost never have a bad set,
Mm-hmm.
you know, without some weird outside force. And that other people may disagree with me and be like, everyone can have a bad day. That's what a nat 1's for,
Yeah.
right? That being said, anything but a nat 1 has a possibility of being good. You
Yeah.
put
I
enough
definitely
points in a
agree.
skill.
I definitely agree. I think you have definitely inspired a little bit me with that with how I MC now because I have changed a little bit from just being like it didn't work or no it didn't happen and shit like that. Like if someone's good at something, there should be more of it, and you always give like a real deep and like it definitely makes me want to go deeper into why there's failure happening. So it's really cool when you do that.
You know, it's like you can have up to 20 skill points in any single skill, right? And then you get to add your attribute to it. My opinion, if you can't roll less than a 33, a 35 is still a 35, right? And that one is a bad day, right?
Yeah.
But a 2 becomes a 35, and like that's really fucking good. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, I never have a problem like letting people who build their stuff to be good at it. Because if not, why build your character?
Yeah.
You know. Sorry, that was a bit of a rant there.
No, it's my bad. I brought it up. I can rant about emceeing all day with you. You know that. So.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I don't mind telling people on the internet my opinions on how to properly run a game. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. The
Yeah.
next the next thing that you can choose is the environmental adaptation trait. Oh no. Did we lose you, or your camera just having issues?
My camera's being weird still.
Okay. I wasn't sure. As long as you're still around, I'll keep talking.
Yes, sorry about that. Give me one moment.
Environmental adaptation. Whenever you roll a d20 to resist harmful environmental conditions, such as extreme heat, cold, or weather, you roll 2d20 and take the higher result. I cannot tell that story because it has not published yet. Don't even get started. So our next bit is
Faye step 2. I'm gonna step in here now that my camera is back, if you do not mind.
no, go ahead.
This is I don't think I've built many Brunei that don't take this actually as theirs. I think it's you had the prerequisite of Faye step, and it becomes you have 2 arrests, which is just becoming invisible twice is always better. That's 2 things for me to run away. But even better, when you activate this, immediate teleport up to 15 feet to a place within your line of sight. And that is just chef kiss. Mwah. That is so fun to be able to get out, and or this is when I think attacking becomes even more viable because you are just in there right behind him unseen, and then truthfully, if you wanted to, which I think it's fun, you could just dip in and dip out once and just get that fucking beautiful sneak attack in, or if you have a spell ready to drop or something real important to get in on a target, big boss guy, get
I
in,
mean,
use it, get out.
that is going to be a bit of a,
Commitment.
AP commitment, right?
Yes.
Because you're looking at 2 AP per face step, right? So you're going to teleport in for 2 AP. Your attack is going to be at least 2 AP,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your attack or your spell, the minimum you're really going to have it at is probably 2 AP. And then 2 more to get out. That being said, when we get to the end of all the features, I do have a small, like, this was a super quick build idea that I had. Mainly focused, sorry about that. Mainly focusing on face step 2 and another lineage feature. So this would only come online at like level 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get your lineage features at first level, 5th level, 10th level, 15th level, 20th level, 24th level, and 29th level, if I remember right. I think it's 24 and 29, or it's 25 and 29.
Yeah,
Don't
it's one of those two. I couldn't remember for sure, to be honest. Haven't got to build too many high level characters yet. Most of mine cap off around 15 when I'm doing test builds.
It is 25 and 29. My apologies.
Okay.
Did I just bring it up? Yes. Yes, I did.
You're very quick with it.
All right. So the next one, and I think you specifically left me to talk about this because it's more skill point stuff. The next one is called Groveborn. And what it allows you to do is you gain 6 skill points that you can spend on a list of skills. You cannot put more than 4 points into a single skill using this feature. However, the list is quite extensive. So under the acrobatics tag, you have balancing, contorting, tumbling. Under the athleticism tag, you have athletics. Under the crafting tag, you have alchemy, cobbling, cooking, or weaving. Under the influence tag, you have persuading. Under luck tag, you have scavenging. Under the subterfuge tag, you have evading, lockpicking, and sleight of hand. Under the survival tag, you have animal handling, foraging, nature, sheltering, and sneaking. With that being said, I almost wish this was repeatable.
Yeah, I feel like a few of the ones where you have such a big list that let you they're not repeatable, and on some other I think in some other lineages they do similar things where they have the big list. It's like you get it once, and it's like, but I love the big list.
I want more. Give me more. I want all the skill points.
I am a big skill monkey. I'll take even some actual just like talents sometimes to get into skills. I love them. I love having skills. I think being a jack of all trades is really fun as a character, and it's just kind of, especially when you're role play wise. I think as you like travel to pick up skills and stuff, it just makes sense. So I always like to do a little bit of that. So something like this, when you get to do them as your lineage, I think it's so cool. I think it really helps rounding out a character.
And like, I'll be honest, I I am a very heavy usage of skills in Mythcraft. You know, I don't think there's ever been an episode where I didn't do at least 3 skill checks, if not more. But again, that's just kind of how I do things, right? So the next four uh, talents all have the prerequisite of being the one before it. Just a blanket statement, so we don't have to keep repeating it.
Yeah. You want me to go over it, or do you?
Oh,
Because you
if
just
you
had to
want
go
to,
that
go ahead.
big. I just don't know if you wanted a break after listing off all that stuff. If, you just went over quite a bit of skills.
And we're
Um,
going into more fun skills.
yeah, true. But yeah, so while you're outdoors and concealed,
You want to say
you
the name?
gain.
Because I haven't.
Oh, you said the blanket thing, and I forgot that wasn't a part of it. But yeah, this is the natural camouflage lineage skill tree. Um, while you are outdoors and concealed, gain +3 on skill checks to remain hidden. You can only use the ability when you have not moved since the beginning of your last turn. All these, all of these next three will have the prerequisites of not being the one before it. That's how it's
Okay.
written in the thing. So I read it again. My bad. I just read the.
You're all good. You're all good.
I thought I was reading. I was like, oh wait, this has been said. I'm continuing to read it though.
You're
but
good.
yes, the natural camouflage. When you upgrade it, you are outdoors and not actively moving. You gain your natural camouflage bonus. Um, so you no longer have to be concealed. Uh, if I'm reading that correctly, right? That's how that's meant to be used. I actually
Oh,
that's
for
kind of it.
natural camouflage too?
Yeah, right. It's just
Okay,
you
because you
lose
didn't
the
say that.
need.
I was like, wait
Sorry.
a minute, what's he talking about? Um, yeah, no, I would say that the way that interacts is you're removing the necessity to be concealed.
hmm
So you're just, as long as you're not moving, you gain that +3 on skill checks to remain hidden
Okay. You wanted to
while
double
you're
check to
outside.
make sure I had that remembered the right way.
Yep.
And since but yeah,
No.
then once again, when that upgrades to 3, we you gain, well, outdoors you gain your natural camouflage bonus. So then you no longer need to move. So you just are becoming more and more with nature as this goes on, and then
But then you're
uh,
running through the woods, un-
I'm a tree.
adding. I'm a rock. 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 It's not a
uh,
rock. It's a boulder.
oh, uh, and
You don't
then
get it. You're too young.
yes, I'm happy I do. Not there yet. But our next last one in this skill is natural camouflage 4, and this one is repeatable. And this you gain an additional +3 to skill checks to remain hidden while using natural camouflage.
So
So
go ahead.
I was just gonna say this: with you get 1 at first level, then you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 29. So if you wanted to, you could be really, really hidden while you were stealthing. You could be, so 3, 6, 9, 12. You have a plus 12 if I remember. No, plus 15 if you, let's say, you fully dipped into just being one with nature, right?
Right,
You can't do
just
that
be
math.
naturally camouflaged.
Yeah, just you would never be seen when it came to be outdoors.
Right. I mean, and that's assuming that you didn't take any skills, any points outside of this to remain hidden, which I feel like if you're gonna build that much into remaining hidden while you're outside, you're gonna take some points in like sneaking
Oh
and
yeah.
some, yeah, you're gonna take some points in that kind of stuff. So
If
you're
you
gonna
ever
have
wanted to
it.
play a rock as a character, you literally can. This is it. This is your chance to just play a rock.
I'm a rock. You're dead. I'm a rock.
Next level 31 shot I play. This is it. I'm doing the rock build.
I'm thinking of like a fun like rogue build that you know. Anyway, we'll get into that because Chris just made some more fun things. I probably wouldn't invest quite that heavily, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. The next thing that we get is Nature's Friend, which once per rest you can cast the Animal Bond spell. And I'm just going to go over the Animal Bond spell. So the Animal Bond spell is a primal spell. It is the enchanting school of magic. I think that's the way it is. Some tags for it is intrinsic and nature. The APC and is 5, so that's the action point cost. The SPC, which is the spell point cost, which you don't have to worry about right now, is actually 3. The range is 30 feet. It requires gesture, which is like hand movements, verbal and visual requirements, and it lasts for 24 hours. And the spell description: by lacing your soft words with subtle magic, you can endear a creature to you. Choose one beast within range. Provided that that creature is not hostile towards you, it becomes charmed by you and will follow you for the duration. It will not follow you into obviously dangerous territory, nor will it fight on your behalf. The creature can communicate rudimentary ideas to you by using body language, growls, chirps, and the like. It will warn you if you are headed into a dangerous area, and it will show you where to find food and offer you other basic advice while it is in its natural habitat. For more just like spell description things, it continues on with like you may bond to multiple animals in this way, but the SPC doubles for each additional animal that you bond with while you already have at least one bonded animal. So it's like the second bond would be 6 SPC, the third would be 12, etc., working your way up. Though now I'm like picturing this nature mage that just like has a bond with a bunch of sharks and is just like attacking ships.
See, I was thinking about a rock that had a bunch of wolves running around.
I'm just saying.
I know, now I'm
I
terrified. Now I'm really terrified. Great. Why do we do this?
this is why we do this.
um, I actually am just really upcharging the spell for the first time. Actually, that is, I had never checked out before, and that makes it really interesting.
Yeah, so the upcharge ability is by spending 3 more SP on this spell. You can magically link with this creature for the duration of the spell. You can close your eyes and see through the bonded animal's senses. You communicate or you can communicate telepathically with the creature, though it becomes no more capable of highly intelligent thought than it was prior to casting the spell. That makes my thought of the Brunei with an army of sharks even more terrifying
Hmm.
because he doesn't have to be near them.
I
Because
love that for Clark. I know I'm not a primal caster, but that would be something Clark would love with his whole thing. I love the idea of like telepathically things through things. Is like that's information right there all day. I love
well,
gathering.
I mean, we see it in our podcast with Zephyr and Smudge all
Oh
the
my
time.
god, yeah, I freaking love when Smudge does stuff. My little crabby boy now.
Well, I mean, he'd be a crab, a bird, or something else. We'll see.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it'd be a third thing.
I'm not gonna reveal what that third thing is until it happens.
Oh, I didn't know he had it planned out. So yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, you don't
Well,
know.
I don't know at least. So
But yeah, so that's a that's some real fun thoughts on what you can do with just a bunch of beasts. What kind of machinations could you get to if you spend 60 SP linking with a bunch of beasts?
yeah. I mean, and not for nothing. If we're talking Brunei, if
Yeah,
we
if
go
we're
to
talking Brunei, it is only
level
once.
2, though, for Nature Friend 2, if we want to go to the second level of it and
Yeah.
talk that, it becomes once a recoup you can cast.
Yeah.
The
So that's once per hour rest. So if you were
and
gonna
you could abuse that, especially if you have a high level mage who is just, a rock who is just always pretty much, and that's there's some stuff in there that I feel like could be exploited at higher levels for sure.
definitely, definitely. I'm gonna have to
Run some
watch this
numbers.
back and take some notes.
Oh, that's actually I'm gonna make some more different Brunei's now. That just opened up a whole different avenue for me for them.
Right? I'm it's kind of crazy. So the next one that we're gonna come to is primal awareness, and that is by spending 1 minute, you sense primal power within 1 mile radius of yourself. Learn whether or not it is primal magic that has been used in the last 7 days, as well as if a creature with a Fey tag has been present.
That Fey bit at the end, that is just love that.
With how popular primal casters are, that literally a Brunei bounty hunter that goes around hunting down primal casters could make for some interesting. Like, I'm not even saying like to arrest them, but like he goes hunting them down looking for help to get his bounty or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun that can be had with this. I just realized my camera's crooked. After primal awareness, we come to primal power, which primal power is very much like arcane affinity was in the beginning. You learn 2 chants from the primal source of magic. Use your magic attribute. If you do not have one, use awareness. Again, this gives us primal cantrips with either a magic attribute that we already have. So we could be a charisma caster.
Mhm.
We could be an intellect caster. We could be an awareness caster. Primal has, I think, the most attributes that you could be using as a caster to begin with, and this
Oh
lets you
yeah.
use the one that it doesn't have naturally.
This is what Leshes uses for cat his spells.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
And
his cantrips, I should say. Actually, that's how he has his Briar Whip and his the D4 he gives. I can't remember the name of the cantrip top of my
intuiting?
into. Yeah,
Or is it intuition? It's one of the two.
One of them.
Um, with that being said, that is because satyrs also have one like this. This is specifically the Brunei's one.
Yes. Sorry.
But I think the wording on the satyr one's different, isn't it? I think that makes it charisma, right?
Yeah, I use charisma as a base.
Okay. All right. So the next.
After that, we have
Go ahead.
the Stone Guts, which is you gain resist toxic 3,
Which.
and this is. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I was just going to explain resist real quick.
I was gonna say just the next two after this are also part of the same tree, so you need the one before it to get the next one as a blanket. Beth, if you want to take over what resist is?
Yeah, give me a second. They moved some stuff around. All right, so resist. With this example, what resist does. So this gave us resist 3. This is going to increase our defenses by 3 against any type of toxic damage. Whether that's a spell, an ability, a wand, which I think there's a toxic wand. You increase whatever defense you're being targeted by 3. That's super strong and only gets stronger.
Yep, that is very true.
So after Stone Gut, you get Stone Gut 2, which also has the requirement of being character level 10. With Stone Gut 2, you are immune to common poisons and diseases. You increase your resist toxic number by 3. So now we're up to +6 to whatever defense they're targeting. Furthermore, you can receive nourishment by eating any biological plant or common mineral such as clay, dirt, or stone.
Okay, but this also is another thing that makes my twisted mind. In dire situations,
Do they eat the graveyards?
do they eat the graveyards?
We do not support cannibalism. However,
and what is there's a very high likelihood of accidental.
I don't think that they're gonna break a large rock apart to get to eat.
True.
Right. I think they're gonna like eat smaller rocks and stuff like that. Right. Smaller stones. However, your example of what happens in super hard times is horrifying. I love it.
It's just, oh yeah, no, I just had a really dark image come to head. That's so bad. I see like the mother and like her kids, they get like trapped and they have no food, and she's like, I take my final sleep now, children. Enjoy me.
You know, you have a tendency to say that I make sad stories. All right. Now, my next character has got such a dark backstory. Oh my god. The next thing that we come to is Stone Gut 3, which increases your resist toxic number by 3, bringing us up to a +9 to resist on all of our defenses against toxic, which for a lot of Mythcraft, that +9 is going to really bolster your defense against toxic. So if you are in a campaign that goes to level 15, because that's the quickest you can get to it, and you're getting a lot of toxic thrown at you, which if you're playing a character that has resist toxic, you should I feel like as an MC, I would throw toxic at you just to help you feel powerful. Now, it wouldn't be every fight, but I would make sure every now and then to reward that character choice, as
Oh,
we've talked
100%.
about
Yeah.
before.
I love the idea of freaking toxic. I see this as like you could also do uh some character build stuff that I think actually we'll talk about when we get there. That definitely comes to mind with this. That's some fun ways to do with this.
You want to go
What
over the
is?
last one then?
Oh yeah. Stone Sentinel. You are immune to magical sleep effects, which I mean is just that's great. There's just like nothing. It's like just one of those good things to have. Like everybody, the one person in the party that has this when your group eventually gets slept by the big bad because they need to steal some stuff from you, and having that ability to be like, actually, not me. It's always so rewarding and fun to have as a player. So I love having stuff like this.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. Um, I think it's very powerful. It's very fun. So now I'm going to put you on the spot here. Without looking at the two that I have kind of laid out, what are some like character thoughts? I know we've kind of talked on a couple of them. What are some character thoughts are you thinking of right now?
Well, the first one on the top of my head instantly goes to a witch. Um, but not like your freaking average witch. I see um a witch who goes into a cult for like the one that gives you claws and like horns and stuff like that. So it would use it to buff themselves and then take that full toxic resist up. Just because that is actually no, I don't even think I would do that. Because I have so many builds we've talked about in my head in this build that have like 3 or 4 swirling around. But I like the occult witch to just like get into the fights and stuff with the face step and just buffer. And then I want to make a rock character now. I think that is it's so goofy, but I think that's my main build. I want to take one that just goes deep into natural camouflage. I think that would probably be a primal. I think an oracle. I think that'd be really fun because I could see going oracle into the luck one. What is?
I'm, you mean Fate?
Yeah, the oracle fate track, and just being a rock who sits in the middle of combat and make sure nobody rolls what they want to roll. I will be the lucky unlucky rock who sits in combat and just, oh, you rolled a d20, let me re-roll that for you. And I think would be a hilarious thing. They're like, everybody's in a comment like, why are we re-rolling? What's going on? Because they just can't see the rock making them re-roll everything. And I think that's my main build going in my head right now, truthfully.
Right. Now, I love the idea of having a Brunei rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Goes heavily down like uh, stealth and even maybe a little con man.
Okay.
Um, Especially like with their so like an unintentional thief because them and personal property have a bit of a fun relationship where they don't always see personal property as a thing. So they'll just take it. They won't even think like, "Oh, I'm stealing." No, I'm just gonna take this shiny because I like the
Mm-hmm.
shiny and keep walking. Right?
Sometimes they leave stuff as trade, even though you didn't agree to one. But there's, every once in a while.
Right. So like, I like that idea, but in a fight, teleporting behind my enemy, making myself invisible, so I am unseen by everyone, and unseen just it gives me TA, which is going to trigger my sneak attack.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It allows me to roll 2d20 and take the higher result.
You fishing for them crits.
I'm fishing for crits. I'm gonna hit. Because I'm a rogue, I'm gonna be throwing a lot of dice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a very particular guy. I like taking extra sneak attack
Me too.
dice
Me freaking too.
talents. You know, like just teleport in, stab, run away. Sometimes it'll be teleport, stab, and laugh. Right. What I do find funny is another one of my mentioned um, my pre-typed up builds that I kind of thrown together with the idea of we're going to talk about these was the Raka Witch.
Oh yes.
So we both kind of looked at that and went, that's really, really strong.
I
So another thing that I would put on that rogue would be the primal affinity. No, that's wrong. Primal power, because I would take instinctive attack, give myself another +2, just stack everything I can onto this to make sure I hit with that big sneak attack
mhm.
before I run away.
Yeah, no, that beautiful sneak attack comes in really heavy. I makes me rethink my rock even more now because if I could dip, I'm already critting higher with an oracle. I could just go a luck caster rogue who just disappears and becomes a rock again, and you're like, what? And then you get stabbed in the back of your Achilles for 100 damage, and I'm out again.
Disappears again. Yeah, no, like there's some fun things that you can really like look into. Like and this is going to be a very common thing with the channel going forward is just some character concepts based on what we're going over because there's a lot that can be done here.
I have
Right.
one, but I don't know. It's a vote in one. That's the only reason why. But it is. That's why I haven't shared it. But it technically it's content that's been shared. It's playtest, the playtest stuff that was released for everybody.
Oh, right.
It's
I do not plan on bringing the channel into Voten content until the books are released.
fair. That's why I didn't bring it up right away.
Um, because yeah, I can think of some fun combos there as well. Uh, but again, you can make a relatively effective skill monkey, especially like a crafter with Brunei expertise and Graveborn or Groveborn,
hmm
right? Because you can grab, you know, in 2 levels or 5 levels technically, you could have a +10 to cooking very quickly. Grabbing Brunei expertise cooking, and then Groveborn using 4 of those 6 points into cooking. Right, you're always gonna have at least a decent meal. Right.
No, that's always helpful. And I mean, depending on campaign, something like just having a cook is like essential. I I think my favorite idea though, outside of these ones for Brunei, the rogue is always cool, the stone's cool, but I think personally I want to do a caster, truthfully. I think the old wise caster is I think the best one. I think the fact they can dip into multiple magic types with the arcane and the primal. I see a primal going down either probably the weird wood and having the arcane cantrips as well, and
Okay, so
just
you're talking about
being
going Oracle Weirdwood or Oracle Druid down the Weirdwood side.
yeah.
So
So
you'd have Primal, you would have Occult, and you would have a couple arcane cantrips.
yeah, and just being that old, like I'd probably play like a 350-year-old, few higher levels, and just they have a good chunk of spell points, and just they're not moving too much. Maybe even actually started probably 400, started to get into stone. Don't have too much movement, probably a real low dex build, real low strength, both dump, and they're just, stoning, just huge blast of spells, high, probably like all coordination, all not movement though. He would never really take move action. I don't see him actually taking the move action very often, but high coordination to blast out like 6 spells in one turn, and just the old man on the rock who is a rock, so much of spells coming out of him. I think it's probably my I think it's such a fun idea for the old wise. They just live so long to learn all the fill power. I think it just fits them really well.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a really fun and like interesting way that um you could build that character. Um, does anybody in the audience have any questions that they would like to ask us before we wrap up the session today? I am actively going to give it more time than I did last time, because last time there's a question asked after I had ended the stream.
Oh, that's the worst.
So I'm actively going to not do that. But yeah, so this was the first of the lineages.
I look forward to coming back for some more episodes and getting to talk MC and build with you. This is always a blast, and I love deep diving into tabletop RPGs of all, but Mythcraft has really been my favorite. It's caught me so good.
Mythcraft is that perfect level of medium crunch.
It is,
right?
Yes.
Like you want peanuts in your peanut butter, but you don't want it to just be peanuts.
As someone who loves crunchy peanut butter so much, I've never felt the statement more in my life.
Right? Like it's perfect. Right? Like super crunchy is good. The super mega ultra crunchy, which is like whole ass peanuts with like minute amounts of peanut butter, just enough to get it to stick together.
Yeah.
Not as good in my opinion.
Yeah, and I've played the tabletop RPG equivalent. I've played GURPS, so God,
Right.
I've played some crunchy stuff, and yeah, no, this level of crunch is really great. I think it's like once, especially like there's a little bit of understanding in the beginning with any new tabletop RPG system, but
I mean
I've watched it click with a few people, and watching Mythcraft click for people is just it's like, oh my God, the possibilities they just open up for them is it's really fun.
and I mean that learning curve is what we're trying to flatten.
Yep.
That's what Lesson Learned is all about, right? It is us taking what we know about the system and putting it out there for everyone else. And, so far I've been enjoying it.
No, I'm excited to get to share more knowledge, and I mean I'm learning too because I like as much as I read about it, you talk about stuff, and it has questions come up that I don't even really know the answer to sometimes. So I'm excited to get to learn more about Mythcraft through this.
And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm probably gonna learn more. Right? Like they say sometimes that the best way to learn something is to teach.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm looking to do. I'm going to teach everyone, and I'm going to have to know my shit to do that. All right. But I am not seeing any questions for today. So I think that is everything that we have for today.
Oh. If you want to see how Brunei's work in our game, check out our actual play podcast, Tales of Yavard, where I think in the next arc we may now have to deal with one because of this damn episode.
I mean, I've alluded to a few important Brunei before already.
Oh, Oh, I just got a really bad idea. Oh my god.
We'll talk about it. Um, thank you all for watching today. And if there's anything that any of the lineages you'd like us to go over next, go ahead and let us know down in the comments, and we'll do our best to bring that to you.
We're really good one.